Welcome to this comprehensive journey through time and metal and exploration of the Australian 10-cent coin, a humble but iconic piece of currency that has been in the pockets of millions since its introduction in 1966. In this script, we'll uncover the fascinating history, minting variations, geographic origins, and collector insights into 7 key years to 1966, 1981, 1983, 1989, 1992, 1999, and 2001. The first step, 1989 Australian 10 cents coin, a piece of metal that bears the image of royalty and the sound of Australian birdsong etched forever in copper and nickel. The 10-cent coin is part of Australia's decimal coinage. Introduced on the 14th of February 1966, when the country transitioned from the pound-shilling-pence system to dollars and cents, by 1989, the 10-cent coin had already become a familiar object in pockets and tills across the nation. Despite its modest value, it carried rich symbolism, monarchy, national fauna, and the maturity of Australia's minting capabilities. Designed by the late Stuart Devlin, the reverse of the 10-cent coin features the superb lyrebird, one of Australia's most iconic native birds, known for its spectacular tail feathers and astonishing ability to mimic natural and artificial sounds. Devlin's artwork captures the lyrebird mid-display, feathers unfurled like a fan, representing the uniqueness and natural splendor of Australia's wildlife. This reverse design has remained unchanged since 1966. In 1989, the obverse of the coin featured the Raphael Makhlouf effigy of Queen Elizabeth II. Introduced in 1985, this portrait presents Her Majesty wearing the George IV state diadem, a crown famously worn during the Queen's procession to and from the state opening of Parliament in the UK. It reflects a more regal and mature representation of the monarch. In contrast to the youthful version by Arnold Machin used in earlier decades, the 1989 10-cent coin was minted entirely at the Royal Australian Mint Ram, located in Canberra, the national capital. By this time, Australia had long since achieved independence in coin production. Earlier reliance on the Royal Mint in London and its branch in Wales had ended. The 1989 coin is therefore a pure product of Australian minting sovereignty. A total of 43,500,000 coins were struck in 1989, while not the highest mintage in the 10-cent series. This number was more than enough to ensure wide circulation across the country. Today, most of these coins exist in heavily circulated condition, showing signs of wear from over 30 years of handling. The 1989 10-cent coin was issued for general circulation, meaning it was not a collector's item at the time of minting. It was part of everyday currency and intended for mass use, buying groceries, paying for public transport, or tucked away in a child's piggy bank. Despite the passage of time, these coins are still legal tender in Australia and can be used for payments up to a legal tender limit of $5 worth of 10-cent coins per transaction. From a numismatic perspective, the 1989 10-cent coin is not considered rare, but condition plays a significant role in its value. Grey description, estimated value, old circulated average wear, visible scratches 10 cents, face value F, extremely fine light wear on high points 20 cents, $0, 30 UNch, uncirculated, no wear, full mint luster 50 cents, $1, OOMs 6.5 or higher, brilliant, no visible flaws under magnification, $1.50, $3. Uncirculated examples were only available through mint sets in 1989. These sets contain one of each denomination and were marketed to collectors through the Royal Australian Mint. If your coin has no signs of wear and was preserved in a set or roll, it could be worth more to collectors. The 1989 10-cent coin has no mint mark and is identifiable by 3 primary features: Queen's portrait, Makhlouf's design, Queen facing right with tiara, date, clearly visible below the neck, truncation of the Queen. Reverse, Stuart Devlin's lyrebird detailed tail feathers are a hallmark because of the lack of major design changes. Spotting small die varieties or errors, such as clipped planchets or die cracks, can add collector value. 1989 was a time of change and anticipation. Globally, the Cold War was ending. In Australia, Prime Minister Bob Hawke was leading a nation that was increasingly assertive in regional and global politics. The coinage of this period, especially non-commemorative denominations like the 10 cent, reflects continuity, stability, and tradition. The unchanged reverse design and royal obverse show a country proud of its constitutional heritage but moving forward confidently. If you are a collector or aspiring numismatist, here are a few tips for working with the 1989 10-cent coin. Check the luster. A shiny surface with radial lines, cartwheel effect, indicates uncirculated condition. Avoid cleaning polished coins, lose numismatic value. Look for errors, die cracks, off-center strikes, or double strikes from 1989 are rare but collectible. Match sets. If you have a 1989 10-cent coin in UNC condition, consider collecting all denominations from that year for a full mint set. The 1989 Australian 10-cent coin may not be flashy or commemorative. It does not mark a milestone or event, but it is a classic part of a lineage that stretches from 1966 to today. Its lyrebird sings of Australia's natural wonder. Its Queen speaks of Commonwealth legacy. and its minting in Canberra reflects a nation's capability and pride. So next time you find a 10-cent piece with the date 1989, pause for a moment. You're holding not just change, but a tiny, silent witness to decades of Australian life. The next step, 1981 Australian 10-cent coin, a coin that was produced in extraordinary volume across 2 continents, and remains a vital piece of Australia's decimal journey. Australia had adopted decimal currency on the 14th of February 1966, moving from pounds, shillings and pence to dollars and cents. The 10-cent coin replaced the former shilling, retaining a similar size and value to help citizens adjust to the new system. By 1981, the 10-cent coin had become a standard unit of commerce. It was small, durable, and widely used from vending machines and parking meters to everyday retail purchases. The reverse of the coin, designed by Stuart Devlin, features the superbi lyrebird Menura novaelangi, an Australian native bird known for its elaborate tail feathers and extraordinary vocal mimicry. Devlin's intricate design has graced every Australian 10-cent coin since the very first in 1966. It was a symbol of natural uniqueness, grace and beauty. Australia's commitment to showcasing native fauna on its national currency, the obverse, features the second official portrait of Queen Elizabeth II used on Australian coins, created by Arnold Mochan of the Royal Mint, London. The portrait, introduced in 1966, presents a youthful queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. It was used until 1984, making the 1981 coin one of the last years to carry this elegant, classical depiction of the monarch. Now, we reach one of the most interesting aspects of the 1981 10-cent coin dual minting locations. Due to increased demand and limited production capacity at the Royal Australian Mint, the Australian government contracted the Royal Mint in the United Kingdom to assist. Australia Royal Mint, Lantrisant, Wales, United Kingdom. This collaboration led to a total mintage of approximately 116.1 million coins, broken down as follows: RAM Australia, 76.1 million coins, Royal Mint UK, 40 million coins. This was one of the largest production runs of any 10-cent coin up to that point. While no official mint marks were placed on the coins to differentiate the origin, subtle die differences and striking characteristics help experienced collectors identify which mint produced which coin. Sharper detailing, slightly stronger strike, higher quality control, softer details, especially around the Queen's portrait and lyrebird feathers. Slight ghosting effect behind the Queen's head on some examples, more prone to die wear and variation due to massive production. These subtle markers give rise to a minor numismatic specialization. Collectors may aim to find one of each variety to complete their 1981 set. The 1981 10-cent coin entered general circulation across Australia in massive numbers. It was used for small transactions, phone calls, public transit fares, and much more. Due to the high mintage, the coin is still frequently found in circulation. Even decades later, it is one of the more common dates, and most specimens today show signs of heavy wear. The coin's value depends entirely on condition, with rare exceptions for die varieties or minting errors. Grade description values circulated: VGF flattened detail, significant wear $0, 10 very fine VF visible detail, minor wear on high points 15 cents $0, 30 extremely fine EF light wear, clean surfaces 30 cents 60 cents uncirculated UNC no wear, full mint luster $1.002, 50 choice UNCMS 65 plus brilliant luster, flawless under magnification $3.007, 00 proof not released no 1981. Proof 10C coin was issued in A coins that were not circulated, but kept in mint sets or rolls, retain a significant luster and sharper details, fetching higher value among collectors. Look for die cracks, off-center strikes, or any planchet errors, especially among the UK minted batch. Compare Queen's tiara and the feathers of the lyrebird under magnification to identify mint differences. Store in non-PVC holders to prevent tarnishing. In 1981, Australia was preparing for economic modernization, but inflation and recessionary pressure were on the horizon. Prime Minister Malcolm Fraser led the government, and the country was fostering stronger economic ties with Asia and Europe. From a cultural perspective, the Melbourne Cup was won by just a dash. The music charts were dominated by Olivia Newton-John and Men at Work. Australians were slowly entering the digital age. Yet amidst all this change, the humble 10-cent coin, that remained a quiet constant in daily life, familiar, metallic, and essential. The 1981 Australian 10-cent coin is a hallmark of mass production excellence. International cooperation in minting, classic design continuity. Its dual mint origin makes it a fascinating topic for both beginner and advanced collectors. Though common, the 1981 issue offers a window into Australian currency logistics, Commonwealth ties, and the enduring art of coinage. Over 40 years later, these coins still jingle in change trays, vending machines, and collector albums across the nation. They may be small, but their legacy is large. The next step, 1966 10-cent coin, was born, ushering in not only a new decimal currency but also a new era in the nation's identity, design, language, and minting independence. This is the full story of that inaugural coin, its history, its design, its production, and its journey through decades of Australian life. 1966. Australia officially replaced the old pound shilling pence system with a decimal system, dollars and cents. This was one of the most significant monetary transitions in the country's history. In the old system, the shilling had been a silver coin worth 1/20th of a pound. In the new system, it was replaced by the 10-cent coin, preserving roughly the same size and value to ease public adjustment. The 10-cent coin would remain a core part of Australia's decimal coinage for the next half-century, and it all began with that first strike in 1966. The reverse of the 10-cent coin was designed by the esteemed Stuart Devlin, a master goldsmith, who would go on to design all Australian decimal coin reverses in 1966. Devlin chose to depict the superb lyrebird menuda noviolangi, a native Australian bird known for its remarkable ability to mimic sounds and its spectacular fan-shaped tail. The lyrebird symbolized natural beauty unique to Australia, resilience and adaptability, qualities vital for a nation undergoing great change. Sound and song subtly referencing the coin's everyday jingling presence in life. The detail of the feathers, the grace of the pose, it was an instant numismatic icon, and notably, this design has never changed since 1966. On the obverse, the head side, we find the elegant young head portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by Arnold Mackin of the Royal Mint, London. This profile, used from 1966 through 1984 on Australian coinage, shows the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a family heirloom and favourite of Her Majesty. This youthful yet poised image of the Queen reinforced Australia's position within the Commonwealth, even as the nation grew more culturally independent. The 1966 10-cent coin had the unique distinction of being minted in two countries: Royal Mint London in the United Kingdom, Royal Australian Mint Ram in Canberra, which had only just opened in 1965 as the nation's first fully sovereign minting facility. This dual production ensured a smooth rollout of the new decimal currency across the entire country. A total of approximately 41 million 10-cent coins were minted in 1966. 30 million were struck in London. 11 million were minted at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra. Coins from both mints are visually identical. No mint marks were used to distinguish them. However, slight die variations in planchet finishes may be detectable to experts using magnification or microscopic imaging. The 1966 10-cent coin entered general circulation alongside other new decimal coins, uno se, dos se, cinco se, 50 se, and became a fundamental part of daily Australian life, to use for public transport, payphones, vending machines, accepted widely across all sectors. A key tool in educating the population about decimal currency values. The transition from shillings to cents was heavily promoted by the government, with jingles, posters, and even educational TV spots. To this day, the 10-cent coin remains in use, with the 1966 version still legal tender almost 60 years after it was struck. Because of its status as the first year of decimal coinage, the 1966 10-cent coin holds particular interest for collectors, but rarity and value depend entirely on condition. Gray description: estimated value odd, circulated VGF heavy wear. Details flattened 10 cents face value fine very fine moderate wear. Most details visible 15 cents $0. 30 extremely fine EF light wear on high points, 50 cents $1. 00 uncirculated UNC no wear. Full luster $2.0 $5. 00 brilliant UNCMS 65 plus sharp details. No marks. Mint brilliance $8.00 $15. 00 proof from sets mirror finish. Struck on polished dies $20 $30 or more. Circulated coins, often dull, may show wear around the Queen's cheek or the lyrebird's tail feathers. Uncirculated examples will have radiant mint luster and no signs of handling. Proof versions, available only in special 1966 mint sets. These are highly collectible due to their unique finish. Because 30 million were minted in London, collectors sometimes seek high-grade Canberra-struck coins, though they are difficult to distinguish without specialized analysis. In 1966, Australia was led by Prime Minister Harold Holt, closely aligned with the UK and USA in foreign policy, beginning to emerge as a more confident, modern, and culturally distinct nation. Decimalization was not just an economic move, it was a symbol of modernization. The coins represented simplicity in trade and accounting, global alignment with other decimal-based systems, a visual and material expression of Australia's identity, new, independent, and full of promise. For those who wish to collect the 1966 10-cent coin, look for well-struck examples with strong detail in the Queen's tiara and the lyrebird's tail. Beware of cleaned coins, they may appear shiny but lose collector value. Pair it with a full 1966 decimal set to celebrate the entire first year of modern Australian coinage. Search rolls or mint sets for the highest quality pieces. Though common in circulated grades, this coin is a cornerstone of any Australian decimal collection. The 1966 Australian 10-cent coin was more than just a piece of change. It was the symbol of a nation's evolution. With its brilliant lyrebird, youthful monarch, and strong mintage pedigree, it became a silent witness to the changes, challenges, and triumphs of modern Australia. Today, it remains a living piece of history. Coin that, though worth just 10 cents, carries a story worth far more. The 1983 10-cent coin, bearing the image of Queen Elizabeth II and featuring one of the most iconic native symbols of Australia, the lyrebird. This is the story of the 1983 Australian 10-cent coin, its origin, its design, its production, and its place in both history and the hands of the everyday Australian. The year 1983 marked an important turning point in Australian political and economic life. Prime Minister Malcolm Fraser was replaced by Bob Hawke, whose election signalled the beginning of major social and economic reforms. Australia was moving out of the shadow of the 1970s economic turbulence, focusing on deregulation, labour market modernisation, and a stronger global identity. Amidst this backdrop, the Royal Australian Mint continued its role of quietly producing the coins that kept the country's commerce flowing, none more ubiquitous than the 10-cent coin. The reverse of the 10-cent coin, unchanged since the inception of decimal currency in 1966, features the superb lyrebird Menuda no Viola and designed by the legendary Stuart Devlin. The lyrebird's elaborate tail feathers form a semicircular arc across the reverse, a striking symbol of Australia's unique wildlife. It is a bird known not only for its plumage but for its unmatched mimicry, capable of imitating camera, shutters, chainsaws, and other animals. This design has remained identical since 1966, a testament to Devlin's artistic vision and its resonance with Australian identity. The obverse of the 1983 coin displays the Arnold Machen portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, which had been used on Australian decimal coins since 1966. This effigy presents a youthful queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. Facing right, it is both regal and minimalist, capturing the constitutional monarchy's symbolic role in Australia. Notably, 1983 is one of the last years to use the Machen portrait, as it was replaced in 1985 by Raphael Makhlouf's updated image of the Queen, unlike some earlier years, such as 1966 and 1981, where minting was shared with facilities in the UK. The 1983 10-cent coin was minted exclusively in Australia at the Royal Australian Mint Ram in Canberra, the nation's capital. This shift reflected Australia's growing independence in coin production. The Ram, established in 1965, had by 1983 become fully capable of producing all domestic circulation coinage. The total number of 10-cent coins minted in 1983 was approximately 82,300,000, 82.3 million. This figure represents a healthy production run for a mid-denomination coin, a reflection of Australia's stable post-inflation economy and normal commerce needs. The coin was released for general circulation, with no commemorative issues or alternative designs for the 10-cent piece that year. The 1983 10-cent coin was widely used and quickly integrated into everyday spending. Coins from this mintage remain common in circulation, though most show signs of heavy wear due to nearly 4 decades of use. Despite its age, it is not rare, but it is an important piece of Australia's decimal coinage history. While circulated examples of the 1983 10-cent coin are easily found, mint-state uncirculated examples are more desirable to collectors. They were primarily available through mint rolls, private holdings, some coin dealers, or packaged sets, though not official RAM-proof sets for this denomination that year. Grade description: estimated value odd, circulated VGF, heavily worn. Flat surfaces, 10 cents, face value very fine VF, clear design. Moderate wear 15 cents, $0. 30 extremely fine EF, light wear. Clean edges 30 cents, 50 cents. Uncirculated UNC, full luster. Nowhere $1, $2 OOMs. 6.5 or higher, brilliant strike. No marks under magnification, $3, $6. Because this coin was mass, only coins in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially MS65 plus, carry collector premium. Here are some tips for identifying and evaluating a 1983 Australian 10-cent coin. Obverse: Arnold Machen portrait, Elizabeth II, Australia, 1983, around the border. Reverse: the iconic lyrebird with the numeral 10 to the left. No mint were used. There are no official errors or variants widely recognized for this year. Die fatigue: worn dies may cause weak strikes in some coins. These are interesting, but not rare. While 1983 is not a particularly rare year, it is an important one for several reasons. It marks the end of an era for the Arnold Machen portrait on decimal coinage. It reflects pure Australian minting, with no foreign mint involvement. It is part of an era before the introduction of special circulating commemorative coins for the 10-cent denomination. For type collectors, those who aim to collect one example of each design or portrait, 1983 is essential because it helps bridge the transition from the Marken to Makloff portrait in 1985. Fiaturas Perfiponiansko Oinical 75% C, 25% knee weight, 5.65 grams diameter, 23.60 arm edge, milled designer Reverse Stewart, Devlin designer Obverse Arnold Match and Mint Royal Australian Mint, Canberra mintage, 82,300,000 coins. The 1983 Australian 10-cent coin may not be rare or flashy, but it is a cornerstone of decimal coinage in Australia. Its elegant design, solid mintage, and durable composition ensured its widespread use for decades and its place in the pockets, tills, and memories of millions. It's a coin that represents national craftsmanship, the continuity of the monarchy, a symbol of everyday life. Humble in value but rich in heritage, whether you're a numismatist or a casual enthusiast, 1983 10-cent coin offers a shiny window into the Australia of the early 1980s, a time of transformation, modernization, and steady tradition. The 1992 Australian 10-cent coin, a coin that carries not only the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II but also the legacy of Australia's natural heritage, artistic tradition, and minting prowess. The 10-cent coin is one of the original denominations, introduced when Australia converted to decimal currency on the 14th of February 1966, replacing the old shilling. Though modest in size and value, it has featured the same reverse design for decades, becoming a constant companion in Australian commerce, from payphones to public transport, from cafes to supermarkets. The 1992 issue is particularly interesting, not for its rarity, but for its place in a transitional economic and cultural period of Australia's modern history. Since its first issue in 1966, the reverse of the 10-cent coin has featured the superb lyrebird Manula novaelengia, an iconic Australian bird known for its ornate tail feathers and its unmatched ability to mimic other sounds. The design was created by renowned goldsmith and coin designer Stuart Devlin, whose works have become staples of Australian coinage. The lyrebird's tail feathers curve in an elegant arc, framing the numeral 10, with intricate feathering visible. Under magnification, the image represents the obverse of the 1992 10-cent coin, features the third official effigy of Queen Elizabeth II. Designed by Raphael Makloff, this portrait was used on Australian coinage from 1985 to 1998. Makloff's depiction is more regal and mature than its predecessors. The Queen is shown wearing the George IV state diadem, a crown worn during the state opening of Parliament in the United Kingdom. This obverse includes the inscription Elizabeth Kadua, Australia 1992, curving around the portrait's border. In 1992, the 10-cent coin was minted exclusively at the Royal Australian Mint RAM, located in Canberra, the nation's capital. The Royal Australian Mint had been producing all national coinage since its opening in 1965. By 1992, the facility was one of the most modern and precise in the Southern Hemisphere, capable of producing millions of coins per day. In 1992, a total of 48,800,000 10-cent coins were produced. This is a moderate mintage, lower than peak years like 1981 or 2006, but high enough to make the coin relatively common in circulation even today. Still, legal tender up to $5.10 coins per transaction, often seen in public use until the rise of digital payments and rounding on 1C and 2C coins. Phased out in 1992, the 10-cent coin continued to be used widely for vending machines, phone booths, and transport tokens during the 1990s. While the 1992 10-cent coin is not considered rare, condition plays a major role in its value to collectors. Grade description: approximate value circulated VGF heavy wear, flattened features $0, 10 very fine VF moderate wear, design mostly visible 20 cents $0, 30 extremely fine EF light wear on high points 40 cents 60 cents uncirculated UNC no wear, full mint luster $1.002, OOMs 6.5 or higher gem grade strike. No visible flaws, $3 $6. High quality uncirculated specimens were mostly available from. Note: there was no official mint set or proof set that included a 10-cent coin, specifically for 1992. Here's what to look for when identifying a Queen Elizabeth II facing right crown, George IV, state diadem inscription Elizabeth II Australia, 1992 Makloff's initials small RDM on the Queen's neckline, stylized lyrebird with flowing tail feathers 10, prominently displayed to the left, designer initials SD Stuart Devlin at the base of the design, no major error. Varieties are officially catalogued for the 1990 to 10-cent coin, but collectors always keep an eye out for off-center strikes, clipped planchettes, die cracks or cuds. Such errors, while uncommon, can significantly increase a coin's value. 1992 was a year of transformation and reflection for Australia. The country was still emerging from the early 1990s recession. Paul Keating was Prime Minister, leading the nation through economic reform and social change. The Mabo decision was handed down by the High Court, legally recognizing Indigenous land rights for the first time in Australian history. Culturally, the nation was redefining its identity, moving further from its colonial roots, while still recognizing its monarchy on everyday coinage. The 1992 10-cent coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II and the lyrebird reflected this duality. Traditional symbols in a progressive, evolving country, whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a beginner. Here are a few tips for collecting 1992 10-cent coins. Look for luster. Uncirculated coins show a cartwheel shine when rotated under light. Avoid cleaning. Polished or damaged coins lose numismatic value. Store properly. Use non-PVC holders to buy 2 flips or coin capsules. Search coin rolls. Higher grade examples may still be found in old bank rolls or collections. Consider full year sets. Minus 1,992 coins from all denominations make an excellent decade-themed collection. The 1992 Australian 10-cent coin is not flashy, commemorative, or rare, but its enduring symbolism, national significance, and high-quality design make it more than mere pocket change. It is a reflection of Australia's minting independence, a maturing national identity, the subtle intersection of monarchy and nature on everyday objects for collectors and historians alike. The 1992 issue is a solid symbolic piece of Australian numismatic history, a small but proud coin with a legacy that continues to echo in change trays and collector albums to this day. The 2001 10-cent coin, bearing the image of Queen Elizabeth II and the iconic lyrebird, stands as a symbol of continuity linking tradition with the new millennium. Today we delve deep into its story. The 10-cent coin is a cornerstone of Australian currency, first introduced with decimalisation in 1966, replacing the shilling in value and function. By 2001, this coin had been circulating for 35 years, familiar in every pocket and purse. The coin's composition, size, and reverse design remained consistent, emphasizing stability amidst a rapidly changing world. The reverse side features the timeless superb lyrebird Menuda novaeolandia, a bird unique to Australia known for its magnificent tail and incredible mimicry skills. The design, created by Stuart Devlin, has adorned every Australian 10-cent coin since 1966. The lyrebird symbolizes Australia's unique natural heritage and the country's artistic spirit. Its feathers, elegantly fanned in a sweeping arc, are rendered in fine detail, showcasing Devlin's enduring craftsmanship. The 2001 coin features the Ian Rank Broadley portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on its obverse side. This portrait replaced the earlier Mackloaf effigy starting in 1999 and is still used on Australian coins today. The Queen is depicted facing right, wearing the George IV state diadem. The inscription around the portrait reads, Elizabeth II, Australia. 2001 Rank Broadley's design is noted for its realism and understated dignity, reflecting the Queen's mature reign. The 2001 10-cent coins were minted at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra, which has been the primary coin-producing facility for Australia since 1965. No mint marks were used in this year's 10-cent coin. The coins were produced solely within Australia, ensuring quality control and consistency. Production runs were designed to meet domestic demand, with additional mintages reserved for collector sets. In 2001, the Royal Australian Mint produced approximately 74,400,000 10-cent coins, a figure reflecting the stable demand for this denomination in everyday commerce. The 10-cent coin continued to be widely used for small transactions, vending machines, parking meters, and public telephones. Although electronic payments were becoming more common, cash coins remained essential for convenience and low-value purchases. The 2001 coin remains legal tender and in circulation today, though many have been withdrawn or damaged over time. While the 2001 10-cent coin is common, its value varies significantly based on condition. Gray description estimated value circulated VGF moderate to heavy wear. Details worn face value 10 cents very fine VF light wear. Most design elements visible 20 cents $0. 40 extremely fine EF minor surface wear. Sharp details 50 cents $1 uncirculated. UNC no wear. Full mint luster $1.50 $3. 00 gem MS65 plus flawless strike. Brilliant surfaces for $8 proof sets, including the 2001 10-cent coin, are available for collectors, typically commanding a premium. There are no significant varieties or known mint errors for this year, but rare striking defects can increase value. The coin is commonly included in year sets and decimal currency collections. Fiatris Befipend 25% Ni weight, 5.65 grams diameter, 23.60 mm. Mildreverse. Designer Stuart Devlin. Obverse. Designer Ian Rank Broadley Mint. Location Royal Australian Mint, Canberra. Mintage approximately 74.4 million. The year 2001 was momentous globally and nationally. The Sydney 2000 Summer Olympics had just concluded, spotlighting Australia on the world stage. Australia was grappling with the aftermath of the September 11th attacks, joining international security efforts. Economic growth was steady, with ongoing developments in technology and telecommunications. The government debated environmental policies and Indigenous rights, public reliance on coins remained strong for daily transactions, despite the rise of credit cards and electronic payments. The 2001 10-cent coin represents this balance between tradition and modernity. The 2001 10-cent coin holds a special place for collectors because it is part of the early years of the Ian rank broadly effigy, which marks a stylistic evolution in Australian coinage. It is widely available, making it accessible to new collectors. High-grade specimens and proof coins are prized for their crisp detail and luster. It fits seamlessly into complete sets of 20th and 21st century Australian decimal coinage. Though modest in size, the 2001 Australian 10-cent coin embodies an era of progress and stability, with its native lyrebird echoing the sounds of the Australian wilderness, and the Queen's mature profile symbolizing enduring tradition. This coin quietly continued to serve Australians through a time of change, from cash transactions to collectors' albums. The 2001 10-cent coin remains a meaningful piece of Australia's numismatic story. In the last step, 1999, one of those coins, Australia's 10-cent piece, reflected a nation bridging tradition and progress. With Queen Elizabeth II on one side and Australia's iconic lyrebird on the other, this coin was both a medium of exchange and a symbol of national identity. Let us journey into the details, history, and significance of the 1999 Australian 10-cent coin. The 10-cent coin is part of Australia's decimal currency system, introduced in 1966 when the nation transitioned from pounds, shillings and pence to dollars and cents, replacing the pre-decimal shilling. The 10-cent coin retained the same size, metal composition and value. Over the decades, this coin has remained consistent in appearance, playing a central role in Australia's daily transactions and economic life. The 1999 issue is part of that continuity, offering a glimpse of Australia in the late 1980s, stable, modernizing and globally engaged. The reverse design, unchanged since 1966, features the superb lyrebird Menuda novaeolangia, a native bird famous for its elaborate tail feathers and extraordinary ability to mimic sounds including chainsaws, camera shutters, and other bird calls. Designer Stuart Devlin, a master craftsman and official goldsmith to Queen Elizabeth II. Symbolism: the lyrebird represents Australia's unique biodiversity and the importance of nature and national identity. The coin's detail shows the lyrebird in a majestic pose, tail feathers fanned in a half-moon arc over the numeral 10. Devlin's craftsmanship gives the coin artistic elegance. The obverse bears the third official portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Raphael Mack. This portrait was used on Australian coins from 1985 through 1999. The Queen is shown wearing the George IV estate diadem, a royal crown encrusted with diamonds. Her profile faces right, and the inscription reads Mackloaf's design, sought to depict the Queen with warmth, dignity, and regality as she aged gracefully through her reign. The 1999 10-cent coin was minted exclusively at the Royal Australian Mint Ram in Canberra, the national capital. No coins were struck at international mints for this denomination in 1999. No mint marks were included. Ram was, by this time, well established in its capacity to produce all Australian coinage, following its founding in 1965. This made the 1999 10-cent coin a fully domestic product, 100% designed, minted, and distributed within Australia. A total of 67,200,067.2 million 10-cent coins were minted in 1999. This figure is moderate in the context of Australian coin production. Higher than low mintage years like 1985, only 2 million. Lower than massive mintage years like 1981, over 140 million. The 10-cent coin remained an essential denomination in everyday commerce, used in vending machines, public telephones, and general transactions. The coin entered widespread circulation and remains legal tender today. Though many are still in use, most 1999 coins today show signs of wear, given their 35-plus years in the public domain. The 1999 10-cent coin is not rare, but condition significantly impacts collector interest. Grey description value: odd circulated VGF, moderate to heavy wear. 10 cents face value: very fine VF somewhere. Most details visible: 20 cents $0. 30 extremely fine EF, light wear. Sharp design details: 40 cents 60 cents. Uncirculated UNC nowhere. Full mint luster $1.002 EMS 65 plus gem perfect strike, no marks. Brilliant luster $3.6. No special proof or commemorative 10-cent coins were issued in 1999, however. Uncirculated examples were available in mint rolls and dealer stock. Mint sets from the RAM in 1999 did not include the 10-cent coin individually, so high-grade examples are primarily from private collections. Feature specification: composition 75% copper, 25% nickel. Cooney weight 5.65 grams. Diameter 23.60. Original Dobverse. Designer Raphael Mackloaf. Designer Stuart Devlin. Mint roll: Australian Mint, Canberra. Menage 67,200,000. 1999 was a year of both continuity and quiet transformation in Australia. Prime Minister Bob Hawke led the country through economic reform, preparing for the globalized 1990s. The environmental movement gained momentum, with growing concerns over land management, deforestation, and conservation. Australian pop culture flourished globally, with films, TV, and music making their mark internationally. The fall of the Berlin Wall later that year symbolized the end of the Cold War, affecting global alliances including those of the Commonwealth nations. The 1999 10-cent coin quietly mirrored this national mood, stable, reliable, and bearing both tradition and resilience. For numismatists, the 1999 Australian 10-cent coin holds value beyond its face. It is part of the Maklov portrait era, essential for completing typesets. It is one of the more moderately issued years, meaning high-grade examples are increasingly sought after. As coins from the 1980s continue to leave circulation, uncirculated coins are gaining value steadily. Whether held for investment or historical preservation, the 1999 coin remains an accessible and attractive addition to any collection. The 1999 Australian 10-cent coin is more than just a piece of metal. It is a bridge between the Australia of old and the country it was becoming at the dawn of the 1990s. It's a coin that has traveled thousands of pockets and tills, carried the likeness of a monarch, celebrated Australia's natural beauty through the lyrebird, and quietly witnessed a decade of change. Still in use today, it continues its quiet service, a shining sliver of Australia's economic, artistic, and cultural heritage.